Unpopular opinion, but maybe animals don't deserve to be abused. Maybe we should treat animals fairly and not exploit them to live miserable lives and not like literal prisoners. I really hope anyone listening to this right now can agree with me there, but you know who can't? You know who can't agree with me? Any mainstream pet store who allows literal dead animals to remain open on display. Yeah, dead animals. But we'll get right into that in a moment. In the meantime, hi, I'm Fita Cakes, your average high schooler who makes mini video essays and mini commentary videos on the topics that interest her. And I'm brand new to YouTube, so subscribe to my channel and like the video to help me trick the algorithm. Good? Good. Welcome to Petsmart, where dead animals are left out in the open and unattended for customers to witness. I find this to be so disgusting. These poor birds are so clearly unwell, and yet not a single worker has intervened. These animals should be in a veterinarian's office right now. Look how sick they are. Imagine if you were left all alone with no help at all in sight. These poor things are terrified and they need help. Treating animals this way is not right. Goodness gracious, there are so many things wrong with this video. First of all, these type of tunnels are not safe for full-grown Syrians. They're okay for younger, smaller Syrians and maybe dwarf hamsters, but not fully grown Syrians. Fully grown Syrians are at risk of being caught in them, like is being showed here. And when they expand their cheeks to put food in their mouths, they can cut themselves with the food when they try and stuff themselves into these tubes. The food can cut the inside of their cheeks and this can lead to infection. With food in their mouths, they can also even suffocate. You think a pet store whose entire job is to sell stuff for pets would know this? I found this information in less than 5 minutes of Googling, and yet not a single employee, manager, or head of the company gives a shit about the well-being of their animals, so they couldn't be bothered. Second of all, hamsters are solitary creatures. Keeping two hamsters together in the same cage is so dangerous. Hamsters are territorial species and will fight to the death with each other if their space is invaded. Even if the hamsters somehow manage to live in the same cage together, they would be super stressed out and uncomfortable their entire lives. Keeping hamsters together is never a good idea for pet owners. It endangers your hamster to live a miserable life of stress or to be seriously injured or literally murdered. Hell, they even care more about the goddamn plants more than they care about the animals. I invite every single viewer right now to do some critical thinking with me. Do you think this animal has a good quality of life? This animal is in a literal plastic cup. The to-go containers at restaurants is larger than this. My dog's water ball is larger than this. There's no environment for an animal to live in. There's no filter for the fish to be able to literally breathe. Imagine abusing your pet so badly they're unable to breathe properly with unoxygenated water. Also, there's no water heater because betta fish are tropical fish that need warm water to thrive. There's no gravel or plants to provide enrichment for the fish, so the fish lives are completely miserable because they have nothing to do and nothing to stimulate their senses or replicate their natural environment. These helpless animals are in a literal prison, and the only crime they've committed is being born an animal. These animals are our responsibility. We were the ones to breed these sentient beings into existence, so it's our job to make sure they're properly cared for. And many creators on TikTok show us how to care for these animals rightfully. This is an example of a proper setup for a betta fish. This tank has a water heater to keep the fish warm, filter to keep it clean, and a pump to oxygenate the water. And the growls and natural plants in grapevine wood provide areas for the fish to hide and explore. And it has room for the fish to actually swim around. This is the enclosure Petsmart has, and it literally has nothing. This fish is freezing with dirty water with not enough oxygen in it. It has no shelter or areas for it to hide in, and this is animal abuse. This is animal abuse. This cage has adequate room for the hamster to move around. It has deep bedding for the hamster to burrow in, and it has a large enough wheel for the hamster to run on. It has multiple heights for the hamster to rest in, and there are different substrates for the hamster to interact with different textures, and there are sprays for the hamster to forage. PetSmart and Petco cages, once again, have none of that. The bedding is too thin for the hamster to burrow in. The hideouts provided are translucent, so they don't properly cover. The wheels are way too small, so the hamsters have to bend their backs into uncomfortable positions in order to run on them. The hamsters are kept in groups, which stresses them out, and the cages are ridiculously small. This is animal abuse. When animals kept in enclosures display behaviors like pacing back and forth, wall scaling, or climbing the sides of the cage, this means the enclosure is too small and not stimulating enough, and all of these signs are visible with the hamsters at Petco and Petsmart. Dear Petco and Petsmart, do better. These animals deserve more than the inadequate lives you provide them. Your job is to sell animal products, so try doing some research to find out what animals actually need to live happy, healthy lives. Dear viewers, don't support these brands. Always do your research before purchasing a pet to make sure you're caring for them properly. And with that, Thanks for watching. I'm brand new to YouTube, as I've said, so consider liking the video and subscribing to help me trick the algorithm. Make sure to comment anything I've missed below because I've probably missed something, and see you next time.